Where's your joy? Ladies and gentlemen, where's your joy? Where is your joy? And how do you find it? Drugs. No, I'm kidding. Don't click away, please. It was just a little, it's a little jokey joke for y'all. But I was at my girl's art show last night, and it had me thinking about this because I was so proud of her, man. I was so happy to see her showing her art in like an exhibition, and I'd only ever seen it at her apartment. She's given me one of her pieces before, and it was amazing to see it out at this exhibition. And that was my favorite piece of art, the two things that she had up. Actually, they hung one of them the wrong way. She had to fix it herself. She's got to do sometimes. But my second favorite piece behind my girl's work was there was this vase or vase, and it was the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, all four of them. It was sick. And it was like spinning, so you could see Master Splinter, you could see Donatello, Raphael, all of them. And it transported me back to when I was a kid. And when I watched the old, you gotta watch the OG Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It transported me back to then. And in fact, I got an old video on here called Put Another Quarter In, where I talk about it. I talk about the video game, but that's another story. But my point is it made me feel like a kid again. And how happy you are when you are a kid. And I felt some joy in that. I found the artist, he actually ran the whole thing, he's the director, and I'm like, man, I love this piece. It was my second favorite piece behind my girls. He's like, thank you, man, I appreciate that. And we talked for a while, and I could tell he liked that too. But it had me thinking about joy and how honestly, I feel like for a lot of people, including myself sometimes, it feels like we've lost joy. It feels like the world has collectively, they kind of lost their joy, and it's been like serious. We're mad serious now. Why so serious, as the Joker would say. And in fact, there's a lot of people living their dreams, their dream life, whatever it is, and they kind of hate it. They kind of don't even fuck with it. And they don't really, it really wasn't what they thought it was gonna be, even though it should be. And I think that's because the joy is missing from a lot of our lives. So we gotta find ways to reclaim it and bring it back. So how do we find it? That's what I really wanted to talk about, is how do we find our joy again, like when we were kids? Because it's so important to find that. Well, I found it in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles vase. But how do we find it? It's, joy is really found in the little things, in the everyday. Joy is hidden in those small cracks of life. It's hidden in the seat cushions of life. You gotta reach between your seat cushions. Oh, I found a quarter. Put it in the joy machine. I swear it is, man. For me personally, the thing I really like when I wake up is I hit the French press machine for coffee. I bench press, the French press. French press, then I hit the bench press. Go to the gym right afterwards. And I love doing that, and I feel really good about it. And it's little things like getting outside. I love filming this outside because I feel like I'm a part of reality. And the sun is shining. Saw my face, even though it's the middle of November, it's brick, as they say. It's fucking brick in New York right now. But I still love doing this. There's, people out, they're all having a good time. And like, those are like the little things to me that bring joy in my life. And then you go, okay, I understand for the everyday, but what about, there's these things I do and I've been doing it for so long, and I feel like I don't love it as much the same as I have before. Well, don't worry, I got you there too, because honestly with me, I've done stand-up again for close to a decade now, and sometimes I feel the same way. And sometimes I'm like, man, what am I doing? Why am I doing this, right? But then these little things help remind you why you really love it. I think one thing is always, if you're like an artist or you do something and you're like, what am I doing? You're in sports, anything. You can apply this to anything in life, business, all of it, is find someone to mentor, or not even necessarily mentor, have a conversation with someone younger who's starting. It doesn't have to be contrived, right? Sometimes I do it, it just happens naturally, right? At an open mic or at a show or something. And I'll have a conversation with someone who just started stand-up, a year ago, less than a year ago. And you see how excited people are and they have a smile on their face. They're like, man, I got my first show. I got this bar show. I'm like, oh, I've done those before. I remember that feeling. Or, man, I'm going on the road for the first time, And you're like, man, I remember going on the road for the first time. I went to New Orleans and did some shows there. In fact, this summer, I went to like Europe and did shows, and I felt that joy then. So next time I do that, I want to feel the same thing again. I don't want it to become normal. But talking to someone where something feels new, oh man, I just got my first show. It's the first time I really killed it on stage. It reminds you, oh yeah, we're lucky to even do something like this. It's an insane thing to do. It's so cool. Because we can get used to how amazing things are. Isn't that funny? We get used to how amazing our own lives are. Like tonight, I got my show with the music in. I get to do a show every week with my best friends. That's crazy. People I've known for 10 years, we get to work on our art together. We get to try new things. We get to help bring other people on it. That's amazing. And sometimes, honestly, I do forget about that. And I'm like, we got this or that. But tonight, I'm just really excited and I'm living in the moment of it. And sometimes, talking to people who are just getting started on their journey. You can mentor them and you're helping them, or they have questions for you, but they might not know it, but they're helping you too. They're feeding back right into you. That's the karmic reality of the universe. That's what I feel. And the other thing I'll say is, sometimes adults can get, a lot of shit for having joy. What do I mean by that? People be like, he's too childish, he's too immature. Why you feel that way? And to that, all I can say is good. If someone calls you childish or unserious, that's a great thing. Because the world we got too many serious people right now, I'll be honest. Too many serious people. We got too many people who are all adults. Kids are adults now. That's crazy. So there's a lot of room for kids out there. There's a lot of room for joy and curiosity in life. So if someone says, hey man, you're being a kid, you'll be like, thank you, I appreciate that. Please say it again. So don't let people's opinions of that, make you feel a certain way. Remember Robin Williams? Childish, he was a kid. It's a good thing. So the last thing I'll say is perspective is key. And joy is out there for all of us. It's out there for you, it's out there for me. It's just up to us to go find it in the small, little, everyday things of life. So let's go out there and do it.